Real world fantasy, we break it down raw. Draft board champs with a playbook to all. High game vicious, the knowledge too deep. From sweepers to stars, we make your team elite.
Welcome in to another episode, All Worlds Fantasy Football. This is episode number 6, and I will be going over my top 24 quarterbacks, mainly 13 through 24, because I went over my top 12 quarterbacks in episode 1. Y'all get a chance, go back and listen to that one. It was surrounded around Patrick Mahomes. Every week, every day, news, outlets, media changes the way I rank my players. So I go off of everything: coaching changes, roster construction, player types, player styles, formations, the quality of the team, coaching staff, or up top with the ownership. So my rankings has changed daily, weekly, and I will keep y'all updated as those rankings will change over time. But right now we'll be going over the top 24 quarterbacks that I think going into 25-26 season. Again, I noticed that there are 80% of y'all tuning in and listening that are not subscribed. I really appreciate it if y'all just take a couple of seconds and hit the subscribe button and thumbs up. Now, my top 24 quarterback rankings. I have Lamar at 1, Josh Allen at 2, Daniels at 3. From my episode 1, I changed this. I had Hurts at 4 and Burrow at 5. I swapped them out. What Burrow did last year, I know it's just 1 year, but what he did last year, he proved to me behind a 22nd ranked offensive line, having no defenses, and all the pressure is put on him to score every single drive. For him to lead the league in passing yards and lead the league in passing touchdowns, them resigning T. Higgins, they didn't do nothing to improve the defense. I'm putting them at 4 and dropping Hurts to 5. Drop Hurts to 5 because it's just the pass attempts. Yes, he have the rushing upside. Yes, he still has the tush push. Well, for now he does. So he will always be up there in the top 5 in quarterbacks. I got Caleb Williams still at 6, Bo Nix at 7, Baker Mayfield at 8, Kyler Murray at 9, and I move Mahomes up to number 10. I can't move him up no further because ever since trading Tyreek Hill, man, they traded away Tyreek Hill, and from that time they revamped their defense over that span. The days of Mahomes averaging 20 points per game is over. Since trading away a future Hall of Famer, Mahomes has been averaging 17.6 points per game. With Hill, he was tops in the NFL with 23.5 points per game for years 2018 to 2022. NFL version quarterback, of course, I got him ranked number 1. But fantasy, I got him at 10. Number 11, I got Justin Fields. Number 12, I got Brock Purdy. Yes, he dropped from my rankings from episode 1. I don't know. Kind of leaning away from him. I don't think he is him. The offense has took a step back. I know I believe in Juwan Jennings and Pearsall, Ricky, but Debo was a leader. Trent Williams is aging. That's our best offensive lineman. The defense has really taken a step back, losing all those players through a free agent cap restraints. That should mean for Brock Purdy to have to do more, and I think that will probably be the issue. Him having to do more might show you his true colors. So I got him at 12 as of today. Jared Goff 13. Drake May 14. Drake May, he's the question mark. All depending on what they do in the draft. If they can give him some more upside potential playmakers, I will move him up my rankings. But as of right now, I got him at 14. Tua, I got at 15. Ever since coming back from the injury, those multiple concussions, everybody seen it. It was scary. I thought, and I still think he should retire. But ever since coming back from the injury, the coaching staff of Mike McDaniel, he really changed the outlook of that offensive system. The play calling, the formations pretty much stayed the same, but no downfield targets. They really limited Tua looking downfield. It was a lot of short targets thrown. That's why Juno Smith was huge in fantasy football. He came from nowhere. Some people had a little high on him coming into the year, but he didn't show you nothing in the beginning of the year. But once Tua came back from the injury, Jono Smith became, I think, top one. I know he was a top three, top four tight end in fantasy. He was getting hyper targeted, and then they threw the ball a lot to from the backfield and Achan. I think in this upcoming draft, I wouldn't be shocked if they draft a running back or just continue to improve on that O line because that O line was shaky as well. But I like Tua. I got at 16 Matthew Stafford. I like that they went from Cooper Cup, a aging, injury prone receiver, to Devontae Adams. I still think he got 1 to 2 more years left. He still is a great route runner. I like what they're doing in over there with the Rams. Of course, I love that system. They are. I think they did. They resign Williams. I don't. I have to look that up. But I like what they're doing overall. They got a young defense that's hungry. That shows potential. Last year showed the growth. Matthew Stafford is a year older, and he still is. Don't forget he's injury prone. But if he starts 14 out of the 17 games or 12 out of the 17 games, I will put him in the top 15, top 16. I got Love. Yes, Jordan Love at 17. Jordan Love at 17. I know some people will say no to that ranking. But this is the reason why for me I have him at 17. From 23, when he finally got his chance to start, he was sitting on the bench behind Rodgers. He came out with a lot of potential and flashes, averaging 18.8 points per game while attempting 34 passes a game. Last year, the NFL caught on to him. He was making a lot of terrible decisions, thinking he was Aaron Rodgers, not setting his feet on certain throws, throwing off one leg, very risky throwing the ball in tight coverage. He averaged 15.6 points per game while throwing 28 passes per game. The year before, of course, he was averaging 34 pass attempts per game. Once Matt LaFleur realized that Love was hurting the team's chances of winning, he took the ball out of his hands and leaned on offseason free agent acquisition and Josh Jacobs more. From weeks 1 through 9, not including the games he missed due to being injured, he was averaging 36.2 passes attempts per game, also throwing 10 interceptions in those sad games. After their bye week, Matt LaFleur changed up the game plan, giving the ball to Jacobs. So from weeks 11 through 17, Love averaged 24.7 pass attempts a game. So I can't trust him heading into the 2025 season. That's why I have him ranked 17th. I might be wrong about him, but I trust the numbers. And remember, numbers never lie. All right, so that's 17. Oh man. At 18, man, Dak Prescott. It's sad to say that he's at 18, but I used to be a fan of the Cowboys. I still have them in heart. It's still sad to see them just lose year after year after year, but I know the reasons why. Dak Prescott get a lot of blame out of that, but I don't think he deserved all of the blame. Yes, he's not a top tier quarterback, but forget NFL fantasy football for a moment. Let's talk about just real NFL. Quarterback play, I would say he's top 12. I would say he's top 12. Of course, he needs weapon around him. Of course, he needs a running game. Of course, he needs a dominant receiver, a tight end, an O line, formidable defense. Of course, everybody know when he had Zeke back there his first 3 to 4 years, he was a top 12, top 10 quarterback. The past 2 years, no running game. Look what happened. You're leaning on Dak Prescott. You know who he is. Everybody should know who he is by now. He's an average to good quarterback in the NFL. His best games can be up there with the top tier quarterbacks, but his worst game can be at the bottom tier of quarterbacks. But the organization, Jerry Jones, have done him wrong the past 2 years. All he had to do was just go out and get Derrick Henry. Go out and get Derrick Henry. He wanted to come there. Just that year alone, last year alone, you would have seen a whole different Dak Prescott, pretty much like 2 to 3 years ago when he was second in the MVP race. If he had a running game, so put Derrick Henry in the backfield last year, who knows? Who knows? Dak probably wouldn't have got hurt. Who knows? Cowboys would have been in the playoffs. But I just think once they made it in the playoffs, Jared Jones and the coaching staff would have found a way to lose anyway. So anyway, I got Dak Prescott at 18. They can do something in the draft. Like they can go get one of them top 2, 3 running backs in the draft. They're in a great position to do that. They can go get Takk McKinnon if he falls to them. Or I mean they can fix a huge problem on the offensive side of the ball because this is the draft to do it. So they're in a perfect position to do it. Let's see if they do it. And if they do something like towards the offensive side of the ball, I will move Dak Prescott up. Trevor Lawrence at 19. At first, I had Trevor Lawrence at 12 in episode 1. I moved him down because of the news I heard lately about he's saying he's not even gonna be ready because of the shoulder surgery. This is crazy. Where is this coming from, man? Like he's supposed to be ready. So I moved him down to 19. And depending on what news I get from this point to mini count, I might be moving him down more. He might not even be in my top 24. JJ McCarthy is number 20. I got JJ McCarthy number 20. And just because the simple fact that he's in a great quarterback friendly system. I said that in episode 1. I kind of chimed in a little bit on it. Me and Coach Josh joined me that episode. He agreed. I think he's a better version of Brock Purdy. I think so personally. A little bit more mobile. And he got Justin Jefferson, man. You can argue that he's number 1 or number 2 behind Chase, but I got him number 1 because he can do it with any quarterback. And then he got Addison, came on really, really strong last year. Then you still have the tight end and TJ Hawkinson. They upgraded the backfield by bringing in Mitchell. I love what they've done in the offseason. And then the defense. Oh man, the defense. I would say they kind of underrated. That defense is kind of underrated. And they just keep improving on the defense as well. Man, the play calling, man, is just out of this world. For what? For what he can do. For what he can do. What's the coach name? I'm drawing a blank right now. What's that coach name? It's not Matt. Matt LaFleur played for Coach Green Bay. Kevin O'Connell. For what he can do to just pretty much any quarterback in his system, man, it's just remarkable, man. So JJ McCarthy, man, coming off the injury, it's kind of that's a huge question mark. Is he 100% ready? Is he gonna be the coaching staff gonna let him open up the entire playbook for him, or they gonna bring him on slowly? Like all that are question marks. But I do like his upside. So I would think like a quarterback like McCarthy, he could grow on people. So it's better to be ahead of the game than be behind of the eight ball. So I would say just really keep a lookout on JJ McCarthy, his progression. Listen to the news, see where he is as far as injury wise, see how he look on the in training camp, mini camp, preseason. I really like JJ McCarthy. I'm definitely gonna move him up if I start seeing getting some better news out of camp out of Minnesota. I'm definitely gonna move him up. And then I got one that we need to discuss. I got one that we need to discuss. My quarterback rankings, top 24. Justin Herbert, man. He is so overrated to me. He is. Him and Trevor Lawrence. But I'm talking about Justin Herbert right now. Justin Herbert for the past 3 years has been an above average quarterback in fantasy. The hype around him, the draft capital, so many people slash experts have him ranked high every year. And it's just not true. In 22, he averaged 16.5 points per game, throwing 25 touchdowns. In 23, 18 points per game with 20 touchdowns. That year, he missed 4 games, though. And last year, he averaged 16.8 points per game with 23 touchdowns. Those stats I just named out, do that say did that mean anything come close to being elite? Top 5, top 10? No. So why people still have him up there in that top 15 range? I think I think he is highly overrated and overvalued in fantasy. That's why I have him ranked 21st. Man, he's just so overrated in my eyes. He's overrated. But continue with my rankings. I got Bryce Young 22. I got him 22nd. He showed major growth once getting, getting benched last year. The coaching staff for Carolina did the right thing. They did the right thing. They benched him. He sat down. That benching, I guess it kind of woke him up. But at the same time, they not helping him out too much though. They still haven't got any type of upgrade weapons around him. But I can say they at least gave him another chance, putting him back in the starting lineup. I can say that. The last 6 weeks of the season, and I'm gonna be saying this a lot every year on this podcast. I'm so high on 3 things: your offensive scheme, coaching staff, offensive play call. That is huge. That is huge in fantasy football, production wise. So offensive play calling, offensive system. Number 2, offensive line. Offensive line. Nobody talks about it until people getting sacked all the time. People not getting time in the pocket. People don't never bring that up. Like the average fan don't bring up the offensive line. It's not a sexy thing to talk about. But yeah, offensive line number 2. And number 3, just a simple fact. I put a lot of stock in the last 6 to 8 games of a fantasy football season. And mainly, I would say, yeah, mainly the NFL season. If you go back over the years and just look, those last weeks, think about what coaches and teams does in the NFL. They pretty much know where they stand in the rankings. They know if they are a playoff team. They know if they are a team that's trying to tank to get a top pick in the draft. They know if they are a fighting team to make that last push to make the playoff. Teams deal with injuries, so forth and so on. But they that's when they change things. They try to like switch it up. They play rookies more. They play the younger guys more. That's when the trade deadline pretty much already over with. So that's when, like I said, everything just changes. From the beginning of the year to the end of the year is totally different for most teams. So I pay a lot of attention and I put a lot of burdens on the last weeks of the season. So by saying that, what my stat I had for oh man, what that stat I had for him? Okay, Bryce Young. The last 6 weeks of the season, he was averaging 21.4 points per game. I know. Y'all thinking I'm lying, but I did the research. Yes, he averaged 21.4 points per game. That's on our app, of course, the sleeper app in our league. But that's 4 points per passing touchdown. So 21.4 points per game. That was seventh in the NFL the last 6 weeks. Bryce Young, yes, seventh in the NFL. He finished 20th, averaging 14.5. But that show you. You see that huge improvement. That means that's how terrible he was playing at the beginning of the year. So I'm liking Bryce Young potential. I just got to see. They just need to continue to build around him. They had I think they had a top 15 O line. So it wasn't that bad. Like league average. But they just need some talent around, some playmakers, somebody to take the top off the defense. And this draft right here is the golden opportunity so the Panthers can take that next step, and especially Bryce Young take that necessary step. My number 23 quarterback, 23rd quarterback is Michael Penix. Coach Josh scared me a little bit. It kind of got my antennas up. He was saying about just keep in mind Michael Penix and all those injuries over the past 2 to 3 years. He is absolutely right. He dealt with a lot of injuries just in a short amount of time. So being in the NFL with grown men, I don't see him making it throughout the whole year. So that's very worrisome for me. That's it's kind of scary, man. But I always, and I'm pretty sure everybody hope for every player to stay healthy, but that's just not realistic. It's a violent sport. People can say it's soft all they want. They go back and watch the Netflix series of quarterbacks and wide receivers and see what they deal with day in and day out, week in and week out. They put that bottom line every play. So I hope that Michael Penix can stay healthy. But Coach Josh did made me be aware and keep in mind that it is a high probability that he can get hurt and don't even have a long career. So, but as of today, what I've seen again, soon he got the starting role last year. I just like what I seen. I like the connection he had with Drake London. He hyper target him. It wasn't no connection with Kyle Pitts. I just think Kyle Pitts is done. Atlanta is done with him. Kyle Pitts is done. I just think he just need a change of scenery. But that'll be my tight end episode dropping sometime next week. My top 20 tight end. I really think that Washington should make that trade. Call up Atlanta and offer them a fourth or fifth to get Kyle Pitts services. And I think that Atlanta will jump on that because they want to out. But at first, I think they was looking for a first round pick last year, if I'm not mistaken, at least a second. So maybe it take a little bit more, but I just think they're done with him and they got to resign him. So they get anything for him instead of just letting him walk in free agent. But back to the rankings, like I said, I got Penix at 23. Um, Robinson, the OC, the offensive coordinator, he came from the Rams last year. I mean, the year before. He did the offense was looking had its ups and downs with Kirk Cousins, but we all know we seen it. Kirk Cousins wasn't 100% healthy. He was pretty much playing off one leg, the Achilles injury. But Michael Penix, you seen that the offensive rate went up, the scoring went up, sustaining drives. I just like Michael Penix overall arm talent. And then the system with the Durham Mooney, I think they can use another receiver. Pretty much like Mooney is now. Is he field stretcher? No, I wouldn't say that. I think he just a I think he a good number three receiver, Mooney. I think if they can go in the draft and get a complimentary receiver to go with Drake London and Mooney, and shoot, why not? Why not go for one of them top 2 tight ends? Get Warren. You forget it. Unlock Michael Penix for real. But yeah, I got Michael Penix at 23. And number 24 is AR. I'm not ready to give up on him yet. But bringing in Daniel Jones, a quarterback that fits that system, I'm not too comfortable ranking him at 24, but his upside is so high. Fantasy football, remember, coaches, managers, remember, fantasy football is all about upside. If you can get the player before he booms, before he goes off, making that trade, making that free agent acquisition, you get those players before they take off. That's the difference between winning a couple of games and winning a championship. So trading for players is all about timing. Remember, timing. So if you draft Anthony Richardson, I'm not saying I'm drafting early. I'm not saying draft him mid rounds. Draft him late, but draft another quarterback. So draft 2 quarterbacks. I would say in any league, even in one quarterback league, I think you should draft 2 quarterbacks. And the reason why is this. One of your quarterbacks hit where you can start them every week in a 1 quarterback league. You can trade that other quarterback. You can trade the other quarterback to help you the rest of your roster out. Say if your receiver go down, you're not wide receiver number 1 for a couple of weeks. You can trade the other quarterback. And so it's okay. You can just use it as a trade piece. But also, what if the 2 quarterbacks you draft, one of your quarterbacks don't pan out? You have that second quarterback. Because in competitive leagues, it gonna be hard to hit the waiver wire in most competitive leagues. Like in my 2 quarterback league, of course, y'all know it ain't gonna be no quarterbacks out there, but some backups. So you already know in a 2 quarterback league, that's very difficult. But just in a 1 quarterback league, if you in a competitive league, you gonna have a couple out there that you can get back week to week. But don't be scared. Don't be afraid to draft a quarterback early. Just make sure that quarterback is worth it. Don't be going reaching for no quarterback. I'm a big believer of wait for quarterbacks, but it just depends on your league. You know your league format, your league coaches. That's important too. Knowing your league, your rules, your formats, and just learning being in your league for a certain amount of years, you should know the coaches in your league. What's their tendencies? What they like to draft? What their favorite team is? How they draft throughout the draft? They draft quarterbacks early, late. They heavy on running backs. They favor certain players, favorite teams. Like you got to be aware of those things as well to make you a dominant coach. Any advantage is perfect in a league. So yeah, just keep in mind, always stay involved as much as you can in the news cycle. It's very important. But I'm gonna always try to reach out, keep y'all updated what's going on in the NFL. But this is another episode of All Worlds Fantasy, my top 24 quarterbacks. I will be getting up with y'all soon, going over my top 10, top 20 tight ends, which that's not a sexy position to talk about. But I'll be going over there soon sometime this week. I appreciate everybody, all the love, support, the likes, the shares, the subscribe. But again, I noticed there are 80% of y'all tuning in and listening, but are not subscribed. I really appreciate it if y'all just take a couple of seconds, hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. Until next time, one love.
Yo, welcome to the zone, the fantasy throne. All world vibes where the stats get shown. With the wrong gurus dropping gems on the mic. Line ups get tight, every pick sounding right. From Sundays to Mondays, we making it clear. Great talk with the grab strategy severe. Deep dives absurd like a Hail Mary spree. All world fantasy where legends agree. Defenses stacking, the points adding weight. Hosts dropping heat, don't you dare show up late. Dynasty dreams or a DFS glance. This your winning ticket, give your lineup a chance. All world fantasy, we break it down raw. Draft board champs with a playbook to all. High game dishes, the knowledge too deep. From sweepers to make your team elite.